What's going on, y'all? So do you have a person, an author, maybe it's a movie star, maybe it's a celebrity that has impacted your life? Like there's something that this person has done or said that has inspired you to take action and live your life differently. I have several of those people, and for me, one of those people wrote a book that I read at the beginning of my financial planning career. And this guy's name is Dave Ramsey. I read this book, Total Money Makeover, I think like the first or second year after it was released, and I devoured this book. The baby steps, there's so much about this book that I love, and I use this working with my clients. And moving here to Nashville, like his radio show was filmed in my backyard, and I got a chance to see him in action. But this was a little bit different because I saw him in action, and then I got a chance to meet a very important part of his family, and that person is Rachel Cruze. So Rachel Cruze is his daughter, and she is an amazing person. I mean, she basically has picked up right where Dave has left off and is inspiring young and old to just take charge of their financial life. Something that I'm very passionate about. And this is a book that they co-authored together that also has impacted my life, especially now having children. And I just wanted to learn more about her and her story. What's it like, working with her dad, AKA Dave Ramsey. And you're gonna learn some stuff about her and her journey. And I think you'll really enjoy when I ask her a question about credit cards and what does she think about credit cards, because somebody in her family doesn't care too much about credit cards. So I was really interested to see what her response would be to that question and so much more. So I hope you enjoyed this interview with Rachel Cruze, daughter of Dave Ramsey. I know you will. Well, I am here at Ramsey Solutions. This is behind the scenes, getting ready, just seeing how I guess magic is made. I'm with Rachel Cruze. Rachel, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for having me on. Just call me the set. Just call me the set designer. Coming out of a family that filed for bankruptcy, when I speak, I think of all the people in the audience and all the kids that are represented. Coming over to our side.
Yeah, this is exciting. I've always, watching your videos, I'm like, man, I just want to see what the set looks like, and now I'm here.
Here you are.
I'm here.
I know. It's actually probably a lot smaller and less impressive than probably what everyone expects.
I love it.
We love it here.
Yeah. I'm excited to be here. I thought a fun story to share with you was that years ago when my book was published, I sent a copy to your dad, and just as like a thank, because I read his book, Total Money Makeover, and that had such a huge impact on me. And then I think maybe a month later, I got a letter back from him, thanking me for that. And I'm just like, how awesome! How awesome is that?
So great. I love it.
Amazing. Your dad's amazing. You're amazing. I love the fact that what you're doing, with your mission and everything. And
thank you.
Just want to learn more about your story, though. A lot of people know about Dave and what he's done, but just curious, what is it like working with? Now, is it Dave or Dad?
It's Dave when we're here, and it's Dad at home. So so we've kind of made that clear distinction, if you will. We interviewed a bunch of people that were in family businesses before I came on board about 10 years ago, just to make sure we're gonna do this right. There's gonna be mistakes, but how can we do this well? And that was one tip someone gave us, is that when you're at work, you call everyone by their name, because if I'm sitting in a meeting and I'm like, well, my dad said, then that just shifts. The whole attitude, the whole environment of that meeting just totally goes down. And so I'm like, yeah, that's fair. He's Dave, he's the CEO. And so we kind of have this visual aid. We use this imaginary visual aid of hats. So we talk about when you're at work, you have your work hat on, and I'm a Ramsey personality. He's my CEO, and that's how it is. And so if we're in a meeting together and I don't agree with him, which sometimes shockingly that happens, I've learned that, yeah, I have to be respectful. I can't just be in full daughter mode and say whatever I want. I have to think like, this is my CEO. And so that's a different tone and, probably different wording than if we're at home and we're debating about, who's going to win the football game or something, at that point. So, so the name distinction has helped. And I think it helps separate to, just the emotions and everything of a family business. It really does. It separates it, which is good.
One thing that I was fascinated to learn, I have 4 children, and just trying to teach them solid money principles. These are lessons that weren't taught to me, and I feel like I have a chance now to rewrite my legacy and to teach that. And with your book, you shared a lot of what that was like being raised, in the Ramsey household. And I would just learn just a little bit about that story of, how did you earn money? I think allowance versus commission, I recall, and just any stories there, what you can remember growing up.
Yeah, mom and dad, they did such a phenomenal job teaching us all areas of life, but specifically with money, because it came out of really their pain of their story. They filed for bankruptcy the year I was born. So I was born in April, they filed in September. And so a big part of their their parenting, if you will, was just like this hard line in the sand. Like, we are not going back into debt, and we will change our family tree. We'll show our kids and teach our kids how money works from an early age. And so because of that, I was given such a gift. I learned where money comes from. Money comes from work. It doesn't come from mom and dad's back pocket. And so just like you said, we were never given an allowance. We were always on commission. So you work, you get paid. You don't work, you don't get paid. And it's kind of like the real world, which is good to learn, when you're 5. And we had to write down, we had a little chore chart on our refrigerator. And so we had our list of chores with the dollar amounts of what you got paid. And if you did it, you checked it off. If it was a chore you did every day, there was going to be 7 little check marks. And then once a week, we got those boards down. And if you did your chores, you got paid. If you didn't do the chore, you didn't get paid. And
so I got to give me an example of something that you did and how much you got paid to do it.
Okay. So I remember when we first started out, we each had 5 chores. So we got $5 a week. Each chore was $1. So first starting out was easier. So I remember mine was, I fed the dog every other day. My sister did the other half, but he counted that as $1. So if you did it every day, you got $1. Our room, we had to clean our room, keep it clean, which that $1 was always subtracted from mine. We had to help put laundry away. So mom would fold the laundry, but she'd leave it. And so that she assisted us with some because we were still small, but we had to put our laundry away. We had to, so Denise and I both had to switch off dusting and vacuuming. So she would dust one week, I would vacuum, vice versa. And my brother's like 3 months old at this point. So he gets off clear as day. It's unbelievable. And then what was the 5th chore? It was dog, vacuuming room. I don't even know if I can remember the 5th one. Because I remember the kitchen. We were never paid on the kitchen. We were always expected to clean dishes. And when we got older, we had to actually wash all the dishes and all that. So kitchen was because you're part of the family. Because that's some people's argument, is that some parents say, I don't want to pay my kids on chores because they should be expected to do everything because they're part of the family, which I agree with. I think that there's elements of your household that they need to do versus paying them on every little thing. Some parents say that, everything they do, I'm going to pay them. I'm like, well, then you're going to create this little union. And he's going to be I picked up a sock, I need a quarter. So there's a balance there. And the big thing is I wouldn't focus even on what the chores are or even how much they're paid, because it's the principles of what they learn while they're doing it that are more important. And then once they earn their money, learning what to do with that money, which is what we did. We had 3 envelopes, each of us did. And one was give, one was save, one was spend. So we take that envelope and we had to put some in giving first, some in saving, some in spending. So I remember when we had $5, we put 1 in giving, 2 in saving, 2 in spending. I remember that very well because I like to spend money. And I always wanted that spending envelope to get.
So I have to show you this. So after I read that book, I'm a quick start. I hear a good idea and I want to implement it, immediately. Unfortunately, that happens 1 out of 10 times. But this was one that I actually took action on. So
look at you! Yes.
I took this picture and we had the chore charts and
look
the envelopes.
At y'all. Amazing.
So it was just fun to see, and my kids they love the giving part. More so my middle son. My oldest son's do I have to put that much into give? Spend. But it's just been fun to see that play out. So.
Yes, and I think it's such a great thing because as a parent, you're so balancing how to manage money from an early age of that's what adults do with money. The basics are you can give it, you can save it, and you can spend it. that's the basics. And so learning that, and it's kind of like a mini form of budgeting, right? Like putting certain percentages here and there, and they kind of learn to like build all three money muscles, which are important to have as an adult. So I love it. It's great.
Now, you also shared that like Opryland was one of the favorite places to go as a child.
Oh, yes.
And you're going there, you had your spend money, you were excited, maybe a little too excited. What happened that day?
Yeah, so Opryland was a theme park back in the day, and now it's like a hotel and a shopping mall, which is so sad. But it used to be this big theme park. And yeah, and I walked in, I remember it was like the first game that was there, like one of those carnival games you could win, like the oversized stuffed animal.
Did you win?
And I... God bless, no. And
you
so,
tried.
I mean, and I spent all my money in like a minute. Like it was so fast, and I was like, I don't have any more money. And I remember I was like, Mom, Dad, can I have more money? And they were like, Rachel, what did we say like a minute ago before we walked in the park? Like, if you spend all your money, then that's it. Like, you don't get any more money. And so, yeah, Opryland was a sad day for Rachel, for me, but I learned my lesson well, because I was like, oh, that's good. And I'm glad Mom and Dad stuck to it, because some people would be like, oh, that's so legalistic, they're so harsh. But I'm like, what a great, small, safe way to learn about if you spend everything you make, you don't have any more money. Money is finite. That's the truth. And so, versus just like enabling me and just handing me more money and being a human ATM. And so, yeah, I look back on that, I'm like, that was good. That was a good lesson for me to learn. I had a lot of those, unfortunately. I was the child that had to relearn things over and over again. But it was good. It was a great lesson.
Yeah. With a lot of people that they know about your dad, I mean, he has his certain rules that he follows, and I mean, he just sticks to that, and that's worked for him. It's worked for, obviously, for thousands, if not millions of people. I think some people are just curious, like, are there anything that growing up maybe you disagreed with at one time? Well, I mean, that's probably a given, but just like, are there anything with money, like credit cards is one of those things that's a common thing. Like, wait, I mean, so I can't use credit cards? Like, is that... Do you have credit cards? If you use one, do you keep it like in a secret purse? Just how does that being here with working with your father?
I mean, like the big money principles, I totally agree with, because I can't argue it. Number one, it works. Like we've seen that with millions of Americans. Like it works. And even the credit card thing, I'm like, I have zero desire to have one because I genuinely don't need one. Mm-hmm. Like my husband and I, we have our checking account, our debit card, cash, like we just spend what we have and we don't worry about trying to pay the credit card off. And now, are there people in the world that pay their credit card off every single month? Sure.
Yeah.
But the average American family owes $15,000 on their credit card. So not everyone's paying it off. And you get in trouble when you have that credit card, statistically speaking, how much easier it is to spend, all that, but we don't have to get into all the sites. All this. But so listen, it's one of those things, if you play with snakes, you're going to get bit. And it's like, I have no need for it. I'm trying to think if I've been asked this question a lot recently. I will say this. My dad does not gamble at all. Like, he will not gamble. Now, I have played around the blackjack or two. Very small. So, like, at that, I'm like, I had fun money, right, allotted for, a trip we were on. And I was like, okay, there's a small amount of money. And that's, that's fine. Where he would, he thinks it's so stupid. He's like, you're going to lose all the money. And did I lose all the money? Basically. Yeah, I did. But... I don't know. So that I'm a little bit more, I would be lenient on. But again, if it's something that you have allotted amount, and I considered it my fun money for that one trip.
You had fun.
Yeah.
Paying for entertainment.
That's right.
In your new book, I think you used, a chapter devoted to this word, and that word was blessed. I think that's a word that I use a lot. I mean, you hear it used a lot. But sometimes it really just depends on the context, and I'm just kind of curious to hear it from your own words. Like when you say that you feel blessed, what does that mean to you, and how can others relate to that?
Yeah, so gosh, being blessed for me is that I am so grateful and humble for what God has given me in my life. Everything from family to job to health. I mean, anything I can imagine, I'm like, I can't, it's just one of those moments you wake up and you're like, no matter where you are, it's like, you're just grateful. And, some people are in the philosophy, it's like, oh, I don't deserve these things, which I think a part of me feels that way. Some part of me believes I am a daughter of a king. And I believe so heartedly that Jesus is for me in this life. And so a part of me thinks that he's cheering me on too. So you know what I mean? I guess it's the perspective you take, but I think it's just that overwhelming gratitude. But in the book I talk about hashtag blessed versus really blessed. And so, I see the hashtag blessed a lot. And those happen to be like first class airline tickets or vacations or a new car. And so, that kind of like hashtag blessed is so overused where I'm like, all people are talking about sometimes are just the stuff in their life, which stuff can be a blessing, but there's so many other elements of life that that money can't buy, and that I am so incredibly grateful and humble. And it's just like sometimes you're like, I can't believe that this is my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one part that I love about your story is that you didn't have to work here. You know, this was a choice that you made because you wanted to. What was it about the mission here, like that just you were drawn to it, like that you knew like this is what I want to do and continue to do this?
Yeah, I think that's a misconception a lot of people have, is that they assume I'm gonna just work here because I'm a Ramsey.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. I had like a big discussion with my parents before I decided to do this full time. And the discussion was like, Rachel, if you decide to work here, you're gonna have to work twice as hard as everyone else, because you're gonna have like your respect level is gonna be down just a little bit because Ramsey's attached to your name. You're gonna have to earn so much of like, you know, it's gonna be kind of a harder road at first versus if you just went and worked for another company. So it was actually probably a harder choice to come to work here. But for me, you know, I think the biggest, I always say it was like my spotlight moment, like when God's shone the spotlight on my life and my heart, was when I was in college, and I just realized how many devastating mistakes like my own friends were making with their money. And realizing, I remember thinking, I was 19 at the time, and I was like, I'm 19, I don't have all the answers, I don't know everything, but like I know what they're doing. There's such a better way. Yeah. And so, you know, having that feeling, because I grew up with people all the time coming up, you know, to Dad at a restaurant, or if we were at an event, and they'd be like, you changed my life. And he would say, no, you changed your life. Like, you did this work. And they're just tears in their eyes. And it was and the way they interacted with him, I'm like, there was just something different. There's a life change that occurred of what he was teaching. So I kind of had that in my spirit. And then seeing the need myself was huge. And I just realized, man, if high school students and college students could get this information early on, they could avoid so many mistakes with money. And so for a long time, that's what I did, is I talked to high school students and college students. And I saw my dad as kind of the emergency surgeon, and I was the preventative medicine. Yeah. So I was like, if you can get this early, your life is gonna be so much better off. But now that was, 10 years ago. So now I'm married, have 2 kids, and my message has kind of grown with me now. But you know, it's one of those unique opportunities that I feel so blessed and grateful by, that we get to, all of us at Ramsey Solutions, like our job is to insert hope into people's lives. And money is a topic that is so hopeless for a lot of people. They don't have a plan. They have no guidance. They don't know what they're doing. They're confused. They feel like this is the only way, that this is how they're going to live, and this is it. And we get to insert and show them that you can change the way you handle money if you decide. Like, that's the beautiful thing, is it's up to you. That's the blessing and the curse, right? But if you can do this, and here is how you do it. And we have the baby steps. Here's the 7 steps to do it, to gain control of your money. And it's working over and over and over and over and over and over. And we get to see families. You're just in the lobby, you know, with their kids, and they do their debt-free screams. And it just like, it makes me cry, because I'm like, I look at those kids and I'm like, I was that little kid. Like, that's where my parents were. And they, you know, what these kids are going to experience in their life because of their parents' decision, that legacy is forever changed. And you're that story, you know, that's you and your 4 kids. I'm like, so the people doing it are such heroes to us. I mean, people making those sacrifices day in and day out to get out of debt, give themselves a firm foundation financially, and we get to just be part of the story and get to help them guide alongside the process. And it's so fun, and we get to do it on a fun set like this. So like, it really is, it's like, it's so fun.
Rachel, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I mean, this has been awesome, just learning more about you and your story, and it gives me goosebumps knowing how many more lives, you know, Ramsey Solutions and you are going to impact. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
So here's the crazy thing about Rachel. So a lot of people assume that, her dad gave her the job, and you know, she had it easy growing up because she was a Ramsey. But this woman, she's a hustler. At the age of 15, she had a full-fledged business, a side hustle, that was making good money. I think she was selling like refreshments or snacks to a corporate headquarters. I think it had to do with her dad, but still, it was her idea, and I think her and her sister were doing it together, but her dad didn't help her. He wasn't like telling her what to do. I mean, she did it on her own, and it's that type of work ethic that I think as if she were my daughter, I'd be like, yeah, that's my daughter, you know? So Dave, I just give you and your wife props for raising an amazing daughter who is just continuing your vision to impact others. And it was just awesome to get to learn more about her and just be there at Ramsey Solutions. You know, something I've seen before, you know, like on videos and you hear about it, but until you were actually there, it was just awesome. It was just awesome. So I hope you enjoyed that interview with Rachel Cruze. If you've not checked out her YouTube channel, please do. She's got some awesome content there. Obviously, great books and amazing resources on the Ramsey site that y'all need to check out. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you enjoyed this interview, I've got more coming just like it. So until next time, this is Jeff Rose reminding you that it's your money, it's your life, and only you can make it awesome. Until next time, peace.